guest today here on Spotlight New Jersey is Robin Williams. She's the owner of Bowtie Behavior, which is based in the Bronx. But we are first going to talk about her New Jersey connections. Welcome.
Yes, thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
And who all lives in Jersey you want to give a shout out to?
So first, my Auntie Nola. She's been in Jersey and Teaneck for over 20 years. Is true to Jersey. And then my brother lives in Union.
Got two great places. And of course, we have your sister Michelle here in the
Yes.
studio. Give her a shout out as well.
Always a supporter. Michelle is always here wherever I go.
She's a big fan of what you do. And
Absolutely,
I love that.
yes, since day one.
Where did the idea of the bow ties come from and how did it get started? Tell us all about the early years.
Yes, so it started in 2014 in the Bronx, in my mom's house. And my best friend was getting married. And the theme for her engagement party was a bow tie theme. And I didn't have a bow tie to wear. I had never worn a bow tie, didn't even know where to look for one. And I had a friend who was a designer, and she said, why don't you just make one? And I'm just like, I have no sewing experience, no fashion background. Only as much as I've done is sewn a button onto a shirt. And so I went to YouTube and I Googled how to tie a bow tie. A video came up, I threw one together, and I ended up winning best bow tie at the engagement party.
What?
Yes, and everyone kept asking me, where did you get this bow tie? Where'd you buy it from? And I said, well, I made it, and that's when Bowtie Behavior was born.
Is it easy to make them?
For me it is, but I would say the self-tie ones, the ones you have to tie yourself, are a little bit more challenging because the measurements have to be like pretty exact. But the pre-tied or clip-on ones are a little bit easier to make once you get the hang of it. But it's like anything where you just, repeat it and trial and error. Yeah. For a large part of in the beginning, I only offered pre-tied bow ties because that's all I knew how to make. And then my sister Michelle actually pushed me to venture into self-tie bow ties. And like, you have to learn how to make these so you can put them up and make them well. So I ventured into self-tie and now I offer both.
And you also offer the instructions so people can do it.
Yes.
Do you make them in all different sizes and for all different ages?
So the bow ties are just one size. I have gotten some custom orders for pets and custom orders for children.
Did you say pets?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I've made some dog bow ties before that are a little bit smaller, and maybe the band is a little bit smaller to tie around the neck. But they come generally in the same size, unless someone requests like something larger or smaller. I can also do that.
And a wide variety of prints because the one you're wearing is beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. This one is called Flower Field. And my inspiration, I usually just look at fabrics, and whichever one actually like jumps out at me and speaks to me, then I do it. If I look at a fabric and it kind of feels forced, like, oh, maybe someone would want this, then I leave it alone. The fabric like has to speak to me in order for me to pick it up. So that's what I do.
At 9, Robin talks about her mission for Bowtie Behavior. We are back with Robin Williams, who's the owner of Bowtie Behavior, which is based in the Bronx. But this girl has Jersey ties. Of course, you know that, people. Let us talk about where the bow ties are made, what's involved, and all of that good stuff.
So I make about 90% of the bow ties at home.
At home?
Yes, by hand. In the past year, I ventured out with hiring local seamstresses to help me with bulk orders. And when I get, a massive amount of orders, I have people help me out. But this is probably the first year that I've started doing that. But for the most part, about 90% of them are made by me.
When you make them at home yourself, what process is involved from, I guess, a pattern to, cutting it out and stitching and by hand?
Yes, by hand. I mean, I use a sewing machine, but the first part, you pick the fabric, and then I bring it home. I cut out the pattern, the bow tie pattern, and then I sew it together on the sewing machine, make sure all the measurements are right. Some of them, you need like a lining for them if the fabric is a little thinner. And then I attach the bow tie hardware and attach my label and ship it out. And then I iron it out so that it looks nice and neat. And then I package it up.
And you ship it on out. Where do you ship it out? Where are the orders coming from?
All over. I would say the majority of my customers do come from like the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey. But then I also get a lot of customers from California, which is a really big bow tie market.
Seriously?
So, yes.
Did you find that out when the orders started coming in, or did you do your research?
It was kind of both, because it was back in when the company just started, and I was in a business course, and they were like, okay, do some market research to see where the bow tie markets are. And at the same time, I was still getting like California. So then when I looked up the market research research, and it showed California as a big bow tie market. It just went hand in hand.
You learn something new every day.
Yes.
Are you surprised at how well your company is doing? Because I'm assuming it's doing very well.
Yeah, and I've been getting recent publicity, and people have been, the word of mouth has been really, really great for the business. And I've been doing pretty well in terms of, as long as I'm like staying true to Bowtie Behavior's mission and the message and the vibrancy, people are flocking to bow ties. And so I love it.
What is the mission?
So the mission is to take the intimidation out of bow ties, because bow ties are considered very like stuffy and formal. And so what I do with Bowtie Behavior is I pair formal wear with streetwear to make it seem more accessible, to make it seem, like something that you could wear every day, because it really is, And one of my missions is also to make bow ties genderless, because when people think of bow ties or any sort of neckwear, they think of menswear.
Exactly.
And so I want to make it so that anyone, no matter how you identify, how you dress, you can wear a bow tie. You can have it as a part of your wardrobe.
And as you can see here, meteorologist Scott Sinkoff is a big fan of wearing bow ties. He emailed me this picture so that I could share it here on air. Coming up at noon, Robin talks about the challenges of getting a small business off the ground. We are putting the spotlight on Bowtie Behavior, which is based in the Bronx, but the owner, Robin Williams, she has family here in New Jersey, and I had to bring her on to talk about this product.
Yes.
It's hard getting a small business off the ground.
Yes.
What are the challenges you faced in doing so?
I would say the number one challenge is financing, like finding the startup money to buy fabric, to buy supplies, a sewing machine, things like that. So the way I started was a lot of crowdfunding. Family has given me money for fabric and things like that. So finances or getting the financing to start the business has been a challenge. And then also staying the course, because it'll be it made 9 years in July, Bowtie Behavior. So
congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So it's been hard just staying the course and not getting discouraged, because there have been times where maybe sales aren't doing the best, or I don't feel inspired, or financially I can't find, the means to keep it going. And it's like staying the course and believing in the mission, and also having the family support behind me has been really, really like impactful in helping me continue my business, because there's been many times in the early years where I was just like, I can't do this anymore, because I don't feel like, it's getting anywhere. People aren't buying, all those things. So definitely staying encouraged has been a challenge until now.
Do you have any outside investors?
I do not. It's been my own money. I'm now in the process of applying for grants, so we'll see, how that goes. But it's been all of my money.
Well, maybe this interview will help bring in those investors if you're watching. Let's talk about your marketing. What do you do to get the word out about these lovely bow ties?
Yes. So a lot of my marketing is on social media. I heavily rely on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And word of mouth marketing as well. Just customers who are really satisfied with their product, they tell people. I get a lot of media write-ups as well. So people will see me either on Instagram posts, or they'll see me on like an interview, and they'll reach out to do a write-up about me, and then people will find out through there. But mainly I would say word of mouth has been my biggest supporter, and my biggest customers have come from hearing from other folks or seeing me on television. But I also like to do ad campaigns that speak to the mission. So being genderless, or everyone can wear it. My motto is every day is a fly day. And so I want to encourage people to really just be comfortable, whether you're wearing a bow tie or not, just be comfortable with what you're wearing. And here are some tips or ways that you can feel fly every day.
Do you find that it's appealing to all genders?
Yes, yeah. My customer base is all genders, non-binary folks, men, women. I have customers all over who just buy either for themselves, for another person, or I have a lot of customers who have never worn a bow tie before, but in seeing my advertisement or seeing a model that I have in my ad with a bow tie, they're like, oh, this person looks like me, so I'll also wear a bow tie, because they're styled like I am, or they look like me, or whatever the case is. So I have people from all over who identify in all different ways who buy bow ties.
Tomorrow at 6 a.m., Robin talks about the top selling markets for her bow ties.